the crime scene clear for you. Andrea Goddard, 36.
Sure it's a crime scene? Looks like she just fell down and broke her crown.
It's a crime scene till I say it's not. Can you give me time and death estimate?
Well, avidity's set, so it was more than 8 hours ago, and no maggots, so less than 3 days.
That's very amusing. Any chance you could be a little bit more specific?
How's 1101?
You know, my last case, your office sent over some Pakistani guy who didn't think that he was a stand-up comic.
He's from India, and I'm not trying to be funny.
Oh. Well, good. I like to have a specific time when I'm checking alibis.
Are you sure you're not jumping the gun a little here? I mean, I'm not really seeing anything here that screams homicide.
Maybe you could leave detective work to a detective.
And maybe you could leave time, cause, and manner of death to a medical examiner. You're acting like a child. Don't you ever have dinner with your ex?
Maggie and I have a daughter together.
Daniel and I managed to remain friends. That's all it is. He's remarried and I'm in a relationship.
Come in.
I think.
Phone's at a construction site. They're requesting our presence.
When you get bored in the playpen, you know where to find me.
Who's free?
Dr. McGuire.
Who else?
Dr. McGuire.
All right, Amy, thanks. Nigel!
Yeah, I did half last night. I'm going to do the rest now.
I want you to go with Dr. McGuire on a call.
Oh, then you go?
You doctor.
Doctor? I thought the DNA backlog was priority one.
Dr. McGuire's not ready to solo.
That's not what she says.
Big part of the reason why I don't trust her.
He trusts me. That's why he assigned me this. First real case. Finally.
Tell me these bones aren't Indian and I'll be happy. They're Indian, we'll be shut down for months.
I believe the currently preferred terminology is Native American.
So look, if you find anything that even looks like an Indian artifact, you know, maybe you could pretend it's not. You know, like arrowheads, war clubs.
Wampum, peace pipes, shrunken heads.
Yeah, like that.
So what was here before?
40-unit tenement. We found the bones in what would have been the cellar.
It's a baby.
Another lifetime, one of boiling blood.
Dr. McGuire, I'm guessing this is not an Indian artifact.
It's a child's doll.
I came in from the wilderness, a creature void of form. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. And if I pass this way again, you can rest assured I'll always do my
Why doesn't he have any ribs?
They decomposed. Ribs are cartilage till the baby's about 6 weeks old, so she was younger than that.
It's a black doll. She was African American?
I won't be able to nail it down without doing a comparative analysis.
Comparing what to what?
This skull to a Caucasian one. The nasal bones will be flatter in
Okay, a little too much information. I'm sorry I asked. How long has she been here?
We'll only be able to give you a range.
Do we know what killed her?
No obvious injury.
Okay. I'll go check missing persons files, see if anything turns up.
You know, if I killed my baby and hid the body, I'm not sure I'd want to draw the cops' attention by reporting her missing.
That's a good point. We gotta start somewhere. This is a sign out. Relatives can have the body anytime.
Oh, that'll make my job easier. They didn't want their father carved up like a rump roast.
Is that how they put it?
Yeah, it's a thing. Oh, hey.
Anything I need to know about?
Probably not. Andrea Goddard fell down the stairs of her house, broke her neck.
Accident?
To be determined.
Okay. Is this someone you know?
I need definitive proof that this either was or was not accidental.
Why?
You got the call. Yeah.
Can I assume that the 11:01 time of death is solid?
I don't usually assess time of death based on a broken watch. I run tests.
You are planning to do a full autopsy.
I'm happy to do whatever I'm told.
That's what you need.
Thank you.
Need any help with my case?
Give me the ALS, would you?
You do know I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I just think of it as carbon dating, only with lead and polonium-210. Carbon's useless unless the bones are really, really old. Lead has a half-life of 22 years, polonium, 134 days.
You just know all this stuff, or do you have to look it up?
I know everything. There you go. Your little girl was buried 18 to 20 years ago. Okay?
Can you do a facial reconstruction?
Yeah, I suppose I could, but...
Right. I'll tell Detective Hoyt 18 to 20 years.
Yeah, but newborns aren't necessarily the best subjects.
Why not?
Because they've all got that same little squished-in baby face. Plus, I really have to catch up on the DNA backlog.
Do this first.
News to you, perhaps, but the institutional priorities don't always match your own.
Do it now. I'll clear it with Dr. Macy.
Abrasions on the knees, contusions to the hands and elbows. This looks like a fractured hip.
Really? Wow, I must have missed all that.
Facial bruisings looks like what you'd expect to see in a fall.
Are you giving me a tutorial? Do you think I need one?
No, and no.
Trouble in paradise, then?
What?
You seemed happy to leave this to me until Walcott butted in.
The DA doesn't just wander in here unless there's something brewing, Jordan. Come on.
Dr. Macy, Willie would like to see you in the conference room.
Okay. Draw some blood and give it to Nigel for a talk screen, then shoot a radiograph of this head wound. Move her into autopsy one. Don't start cutting till I'm back.
This is Dr. Macy, the chief medical examiner. Harold Goddard.
If I had an employee who couldn't answer a simple question, I'd fire her.
What's the question?
The police told me Andrea fell down the stairs.
Apparently so. What's the question?
Why isn't she ready for release?
Because we're doing a full autopsy.
Why?
At the request of the district attorney's office. Anything else?
I need to make the arrangements. What should I tell the funeral home?
Tell me which one, and I'll let them know.
Fisher and Sons.
Nice guy. Seems real torn up about his lifestyle.
He told me they separated a couple months ago. Oh, this is terrible. How old is this baby?
About 3 or 4 weeks.
What happened?
Don't know yet.
How close a likeness can you get?
Some of the features aren't predicted by the skull's contours. Eyes, nose, mouth.
What's left?
Well, I know it seems like pure guesswork, but we can tap into a vast database of variables. Age, sex, build, ethnic group that we overlay onto a wireframe matrix and come up with a usable approximation. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
What is the best way to deal with someone who doesn't grasp that other people's needs may not precisely match hers?
Dr. McGuire?
Yeah.
She's just trying to settle in and find her place.
See, my experience is that she's trying to muscle her way to the front of the class and doesn't care how many bodies she leaves in her wake.
Well, then you'll just have to learn how to say no.
Right. No. No.
Yo, Dr. No. I'm pretty sure I got it, and it was a lot easier than I thought it would be. These 3 are Caucasian.
Yeah, that baby is definitely not.
This one is our only hit for missing persons. Mother's name is Althea Hurd. Reported baby girl missing June 8th, 1985, and she lived in that building.
All that work for nothing.
Yeah, well, confirmation's a good thing. All right, you know what? I think I'm going to go track down Althea Hurd and pay her a visit.
If I were you, I'd track Dr. McGuire down first, give her the option of going with you.
What if I don't want to?
She'll hurt you. More importantly, she'll hurt me. I'm finding her a tad pushy.
She's kind of hot, though.
In your squeaky clean, white bread world, perhaps?
All right, you know what? Never mind. I don't think I really need to know what makes your dough rise.
Oh, but Woody, I'd so love to tell you. Too easy.
Is that the head wound?
Yes.
Did you look at it?
Oh, I wouldn't want to get above the Umbo station.
Since when? Correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I'd say this woman fell down the stairs because somebody smacked her in the head with whatever left that imprint.
Sounds like you're expecting me to disagree.
And I'd say that makes it a murder.
Does it get you off the hook with General Walcott?
Excuse me?
I seem to detect a certain tension in the room today. Hard to tell which one of you screwed up, but if it was you, here's a thought. You could just apologize.
Or you could.
She had a baby who was 3 weeks old when it disappeared, and she lived in that building. I mean, look at this. She's a drug addict. She did prison time in the early 80s. We've got her.
Maybe.
Now, all we need is a DNA sample.
Which she can refuse to provide. And even if she is the baby's mother, who's to say she killed her? Maybe some Looney Tune in the building snatched the kid. Let me do the talking.
Okay.
Yes?
Hi, I'm Dr. McGuire from the medical examiner's office.
That is right, and...
You reported a baby missing in 1985 when you were living at 140 Alden Avenue?
Yes?
I'm sorry, I think we found her.
I don't understand.
The bones of an infant have been found in the cellar of that building. I'm going to need a DNA sample from you for confirmation.
I'm sorry about that baby, but it couldn't possibly be mine. That's my daughter. The police found her 3 days after she disappeared and brought her back to me.
Where'd you learn your bedside manner? Joseph Mengele Med School?
Hey, the missing persons file didn't say anything about the baby being found.
I'll look into that. I'll bring you that information at the morgue.
It has to be her baby.
All of which we would have had answered if you would let me handle it, because we have a DNA sample right now.
Oh, excuse me, like you could have done better?
In my sleep, honey.
Excuse me, sweetie?
Get in the car. Get in your car. Drive away. Don't look back. Thank you.
Hey, wait a second.
You're a doctor. You want to be a cop? I'll get you an application.
Garrett? It was none of my business. I apologize.
Do I know you?
You got a time of death?
I've got a range. 8 to midnight. What are you doing?
Well, whatever that shape is, there's room for maybe a couple, 3 letters on each side. So I'm trying to find something that makes sense.
I don't think there's room for more than 2 letters.
Okay, let's say you're right. That would leave us with...
Okay, try that.
golf clubs.
Doesn't look like a driver. It's probably a long iron.
No, I'd say it's a putter.
It's a 2 or 3 iron.
No, I think it's a putter. Yeah, putter. Okay.
Some good work. Did you take the blood to Nigel for the tox screen?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell him it's priority?
Oh, that would require me to show some initiative, sir, which I can do on command.
You're having way too much fun with this.
And speaking of initiative, when I was at the crime scene, I took a sample of vitreous potassium from her left eye. So if you'll take another sample now from her right eye, that would enable you to determine the rate of post-mortem increase, which remains predictable for 24 hours after death, which would then help you narrow down the time of death estimate considerably. Oh, gosh, that's like a tutorial. Once again, I am so sorry. Sir.
Where's Dr. McGuire?
County General.
Why?
I don't know.
Why are you chopping up the baby's bones?
Since you ask, Madam has insists that I extract DNA, though I have nothing to match it against. The bones don't contain DNA, you know. The marrow does. But yes, marrow does decompose. There are, however, usually some residual cells, the richest source for them being the femur. Hence, I have carefully sectioned, not chopped up, that particular bone. Now, I understand that Althea Hurd may not, after all, be the mother, and that one has no idea where to look next, which would mean that all this work will be in vain if you don't bring me somebody's DNA.
I'm working on that.
Hey, what's up, Dr. Woody? Nigel, vitreous potassium. Red cap was drawn first. Run the rate of potassium increase for me. And I need the results on the talk screen for Andrea Goddard.
Not finished.
Is there some reason you haven't done the DNA test?
Didn't Dr. McGuire talk to you?
About what?
My fault. I thought you pulled me off to assist her on the case.
I sent you with her because she's wet behind the ears. It doesn't mean you're her nanny for life.
All right, I'm all over the DNA and the talk screen and the vitreous potassium.
Renee! You could have just told me you suspected foul play.
Why else would I have been interested? What do we have?
Injuries consistent with a fall cause of death, broken neck.
Was it an accident or wasn't it?
She was smacked in the head with a golf club from a set called Lady Steel. You now hold in your hand everything I know about your cryptic case. Have a nice day.
18 months ago, Harold Goddard murdered his business partner. My staff has tried ever since unsuccessfully to build a case against him. 2 days ago, his wife agreed to cooperate with the investigation. I had him.
That's it. That's the big secret.
I was looking ahead. I was hoping to be able to build this case against him. I didn't want it to look like I was gunning for it.
Given the circumstances, we'd have done a full autopsy anyway, you know.
Goddard has an unbreakable alibi for 11 p.m.
I can help you there. Look into time of death.
Are you sure?
Pure science. She died before 10 p.m. Could not possibly have been alive after that.
Thanks, Garrett. I'm sorry I felt like I had to keep you out of the loop.
Dinner?
8?
Cantinis.
You can get us in there?
Thank you. Thank you. What are you doing?
I wanted to see Althea Hurd's maternity file.
It's not our baby. I talked to the detective who caught the case, and he confirmed it. The baby was recovered and returned to the mother.
Then why was the case still open?
Clerical error. The resolution never made it to the file. These things happen.
Who took the baby?
They never found out. Someone made an anonymous call that there was a baby in a dumpster. The baby was reunited with the mother. They lived happily ever after.
Well, there's got to be some other missing baby.
Yeah, well, they are fresh out of stock. Some cases go unsolved.
Chances are the baby was born to somebody who lived in or near that building.
Okay.
Which means the delivery probably happened here at County General, the only place somebody in that location could afford.
You're kidding, right?
No. If we eliminate all the boy babies, all the other ethnic groups...
I have 32 active cases.
It's up to us to find out what happened. We've got to give this baby a name.
All right. If you can find a way to get it to a manageable number, then and only then, you may call me.
I'm really sorry I'm late.
It's okay. We're all set.
You must feel like everybody's all sorry for you. Poor guy can't get a date, has to drink alone.
No, I don't mind waiting as long as I'm waiting for you.
The house rate isn't good enough tonight.
This is the best mood I've seen you in lately.
I had Harold Goddard arrested a half hour ago for the murder of his wife.
Is that what it takes? You want to arrest me?
I have handcuffs. A bottle of 96 BV Private Reserve.
You're paying?
The arraignment is tomorrow morning at 9:30. Goddard's attorney is Judith Matheson. She's a snake. I want Jordan Kavanaugh there to make it clear this was no accident.
I did the autopsy.
What? Why?
Well, when you show up in person at the morgue demanding a full autopsy, what's the problem?
Judith Matheson will ride this pony all the way around the track.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is there some reason, Dr. Mason?
May I see why you commandeered this case away from the Emmy who responded to the scene?
She and I worked together on it.
I'd say you're hedging, but let's move on. If all the evidence at the scene clearly indicated an accidental death, why did you perform a full autopsy?
Because it was a violent, unattended death.
Is that the only reason?
The district attorney requested it.
What reason did she give you?
None.
Are you accustomed to substituting her judgment for your own?
That's like asking me if I've stopped beating my wife.
Your Honor, the autopsy report makes it clear this is a homicide case. Is Miss Matheson arguing that it's not? We could ask her.
For the past year and a half, Miss Walcott has pursued a vendetta against my client. She is obsessed with making a case, any case, against him.
Does counsel imagine that Dr. Macy shares this phantom obsession?
If I may, Your Honor?
Keep it in the sphere of reality, please.
Thank you. The police report puts time of death at 11 p.m. You disagreed?
That was an early estimate. Detailed testing puts the time prior to 10 p.m.
And my client has no alibi prior to 10. Interesting, isn't it, that your seizing the case gave the district attorney the outcome she wanted?
Objection, Your Honor.
So I'll ask you again, why did you do the autopsy? Could it have anything to do with the fact that you and Ms. Walcott are in a sexual relationship?
I think I'm going to require your answer, Dr. Macy. I'm dismissing the charges, Miss Walcott. Not because of Miss Matheson's tactics, but because the evidence is insufficient at this time. You can refile if that changes. Not your fault. You gave me everything you could. And it's not over.
I mean, I'm sorry we got outed in open court.
This may not be workable.
You're gonna have to tell me what you're talking about.
Us. This was a wake-up call, a preview of what we're going to face in the future.
The judge didn't believe you when I cooked up lies. She just didn't think you had the evidence.
Garrett, we have a problem. It needs discussion.
Okay. I do autopsies and forward the results. Not my job to put criminals away. If it's a problem for you, you'll have to decide what to do about it.
Could you be any less forthcoming?
I just don't think this is something we have to worry about. And I don't think you do either. I think you want an ironclad definition of what this relationship is.
No, I already have that. Quicksand.
I'm not even going to ask how you talked County General into doing this.
I've worked out a system. I'll check each file, and then you can...
Yeah, hold on. This is going to take forever, okay? I have other things to do.
More important than finding out who this baby was and what happened to her?
Everything we do here is important to somebody, Dr. McGuire.
Devin. Please, Nigel, look, I will do this myself if I have to, but I could really use some help.
No. Way we can do it alone. We find one other person to pitch in.
And then we can do it twice as fast.
Yep.
Okay. So who's an easy mark?
Baby boy.
Caucasian.
African-American female.
Finish the DNA test.
Hours upon hours of meticulous labor.
Was it a yes?
Yes.
Do I want to know what's going on here?
Oh, no.
Shouldn't we tell him what we're doing?
No. Next.
So, what happened in court?
My guess is you've already heard.
Well, I heard the party's none of my business.
Right.
And I heard the judge threw the case out. But I don't know why.
Insufficient evidence at this time.
You know, you're taking this laconic thing way too far.
Well, what do you want to know?
Details. Details.
All right. Goddard says he's never even been inside his wife's house. The cops found nothing to contradict that. His wife's golf clubs were Lady Steele's. They're missing. One of Goddard's neighbors saw him take a set of golf clubs out of his car around 10:30 that night. He doesn't play golf. The cops searched his house for the clubs. No clubs were found. He doesn't have an alibi for the revised time of death, but neither do millions of other people. Is that enough?
They're not giving up on the investigation, are they?
Look, I know that tone. Let the cops handle it.
If there were anything for them to find, they'd have it by now. It's up to us, Garrett.
Let the cops handle it.
If you would let me do my job, you wouldn't be in this mess.
I'm not in a mess, but if you don't find somebody else to pester, you will be.
I hold in my hand the final folder.
Come on, open it.
I think you deserve the honor.
And the winner is...
Boy. How many?
More than we could do in a lifetime.
Most of these girls didn't disappear. So if we can eliminate...
There are hundreds.
As long as you've got a name, you can find anybody on the computer now.
It'll take forever.
No, really. How long?
Have you taken over Jordan's function of badgering people until they cave?
I'm in the apprentice program. How am I doing?
Okay, detective, you need a manageable number? Is 14 a manageable number?
Do you have current addresses for all of them?
Yes.
Are they all local?
More or less. Margaret Houston, 39. Gave birth to a baby girl in April of 86. There's no indication the child was ever enrolled in school, no social security number, no death certificate.
My doorbell finger is getting calloused. On the plus side, this is our last file.
Yeah, I just wanted you to know I really appreciate you coming with me. You probably couldn't tell, but I'm still kind of new at this, Detective Hoyt.
Call me Woody. Dr. McGuire.
Devin.
Cool. Hi, Margaret Houston.
Yes.
I'm Detective Woody Hoyt, Boston PD.
Oh, my God. It's my son, Malcolm, isn't it?
No, ma'am, this has nothing to do with your son. We're actually here to ask about your daughter.
Both my kids are boys.
You gave birth to a baby girl in 1986 at County General.
No, I didn't. That must be another Margaret Houston.
Okay, ma'am, let's not be ridiculous here. You can do one of two things. You can give us a DNA sample right now, or we can go get a court order.
You do what you got to do. I'm not giving you nothing. And I never had any baby girl. Okay?
The judge wouldn't give me a subpoena. He said refusal to provide DNA does not constitute probable cause.
Well, then we've got no way to prove the baby's hers.
I'm sorry. Sometimes there's just nothing we can do, you know?
I'm learning. I blew my first case. Funny thing is, I don't even really care about that. What gets me is I can't do anything for her. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate what you've done.
Detective Steele, I'm Garrett Macy, Chief M.E.
What can I do for you?
The Goddard case.
Trying to get out of the hole you and the DA dug for yourselves?
No, just wondering if there's anything new.
Can't you people stay on your own side of the fence?
I assume that means your case is stalled out.
When I get the evidence to convict Harold Goddard, you can read about it in the newspaper. Or hear about it in the bedroom.
Excuse me. You say that again, kid, you're gonna need somebody else's teeth to chew with.
I'll stay out of your love life if you'll stay out of my case.
Whose case?
Mine. Last I heard.
Well, you won't mind if I sit in on your interview with Harold Goddard.
You're the DA.
Yes. Last I heard.
He's a charmer.
Where's your lawyer?
What am I, her babysitter?
I'd be more comfortable if she were here, Mr. Goddard.
Well, your comfort zone doesn't exactly loom on my horizon. And I'm not shelling out $7.50 an hour for something I can handle myself.
Where were you from 8 to 10 the night your wife died?
I already answered that.
Well, answer it again.
Home. Alone.
And why'd your neighbor see you return home at 10:30 and take a set of golf clubs out of your car?
How good a witness you think she'll make? 87 years old and blind as a bat. You got anything new?
Listen, you arrogant bitch.
You got nothing on me, little boy, and you never will have. No new questions, no need to be here. I'm leaving now.
We're going to get you. You cooperate, we can talk. You don't, you're looking at a life sentence. Spend the money, Mr. Goddard. Talk to your lawyer. Tell her what I said.
You've been lobbing empty threats at me for a long time, lady. I'm still walking around. And I certainly don't see anybody in this room that's going to change that.
What are you doing?
Thought I'd give this a try. I've reconstructed the missing doll parts from clay, and now I'm fitting the broken pieces back where they belong.
Wow. Is this going to help?
As it happens, this was one of those gimmicky dolls. You didn't just buy it, you had to sign adoption papers. Look.
Serial number?
Yep. And the company's still in business, and they've agreed to help us track down the buyer once we've got the number. I know, it's a long shot, but want us to try.
This is... Nigel, you're really...
Good, kind, noble.
So I'm sorry if I got a little obnoxious.
Yeah, well, I won't tell anyone you're pushy. If you don't tell them, I'm a pushover.
Deal.
Yeah, I remember. I bought one of these. What's this about?
What did you do with the doll, Mr. Morton?
Sent it to my little girl.
You sent it?
Yeah, my girlfriend and I split up before the baby was born. You know, I got a little girl out there somewhere. I never even met her. Hey, where'd you get that?
It was found in the cellar of an old tenement building.
Oh, God. What's that story that was on the news, isn't it? The baby in the basement. That was my daughter?
Seems likely the doll was buried with the baby.
But what happened?
We don't know, Mr. Morton. Why didn't you stay in touch with your child?
Mama shut me out. I guess I should have made more of a fuss about it, but you know, and now you're telling me that she was dead all along?
Could we get a DNA sample from you? Just to be sure the baby is yours and Margaret's.
Margaret?
Margaret Houston.
I don't know any Margaret Houston. My girlfriend's name was Althea Hurd.
What, are you scared of a test dummy?
Is it possible that you could just once do what I tell you to do?
You want a carp or you want to help?
Both.
The impact spatter's here.
So the blow must have come from this direction, right? We had low velocity spatter there.
That's where he was. And she must have been about here. Live your fantasy.
I've dreamed about this day.
She smacked into the wall around here. She was found there. And it doesn't compute. Because there's no blood until this step.
It's almost halfway down.
She must have been airborne to get this far. There's no way that one blow could have done that.
So she didn't fall.
She crumpled.
And he threw her down the stairs to make it look like an accident.
Even reset her watch and smashed it to give himself an alibi.
If that's the way it happened, he would have to lean down here to pick her up.
They might have left prints.
I read the police report. CSU found prints right here, too smudged to identify. We assumed they were hers.
Maybe they weren't. Either he got lucky with that planter, or he moved the body just to make it look good.
Works for me. I don't think it'll work for a jury.
You know, there are people smarter than we are who figured out a way to extract DNA from fingerprint residue.
You're not looking at 2 lawsuits for false arrest.
I don't think so, Domehead. Your lawyer's on her way. When she gets here, we'll talk.
You're absolutely sure?
It's a match, Renee. Goddard was in his wife's house, smeared unidentifiable fingerprints containing his DNA mixed with her blood.
C.S., you should have found this.
Well, everybody makes mistakes.
Well, thank you, Garrett. I appreciate it.
I'm free tonight.
So am I. What do you have in mind?
Why don't you decide?
You know what I want?
Tell me.
To hash this out.
You know, I'm really not good at that.
I need to know you care enough to try.
Okay, Renee. If you didn't work so hard to put me on the defensive, I might be more willing to have these discussions.
Well, maybe that's our best trick, throwing each other off balance. I want to find a way to make this work.
Me too.
Maybe we need some time to think about it.
That's what you want.
If that's what I want. Am I talking to myself?
Mr. Morton is indeed the baby's father.
Knew Althea Hurd was the mother.
It doesn't make sense. She got her baby back.
She got a baby back. It wasn't hers.
It had to be.
DNA doesn't lie.
We have to see a woman about a baby.
I figured you'd be back. Come on in.
You should know a couple of things. We've spoken with Jack Morton, so we're pretty sure that the deceased baby was yours. And we found no indications that the baby was murdered.
I got up one night, and she was dead. Just dead.
Why didn't you call the police?
I was a messed up drug addict back then. I was afraid they'd think I killed her.
So you buried her with the doll?
Then I cried all night. And in the morning, I reported her missing. When the detective brought me the baby they found in the dumpster, it was like God gave me a second chance.
Does she know?
No. She thinks she's my daughter. She is my daughter. I'll have to tell her, won't I?
What's her name?
Gloria. Gloria Hurd.
Thank you.
You're not going to take Gloria away. You're not going to arrest me?
She's 18, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
Well, then she's an adult. Yes, you broke a few laws, but I'm sure that the statute ran out a long time ago.
Two people are the same person. One dead, one alive. I have no idea what the procedure is. Is the mother claiming the body?
Funny you talk about this as a body. Yeah, she wants a proper burial.
Oh, yeah, look into it. Hey, I brought you some health food. Gotta keep your strength up.
Thank you. Yeah.
I heard that you aced your first test. Yeah, went the extra mile. Good job. The old cases are the hardest.
Yeah, this was...
You know, why don't we leave this for the graveyard shift? They really love sugar. Lily and I know this great bar where we can all get stupefied for free.
If I could only turn back the hands of time to when you and God were born, I know that I could give you shelter from the storm. Come in and I will give you shelter from the storm.